Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we talks about poem first and poem 4 by Tito Mukhopadhyay. So let's begin. Tito Mukhopadhyay was born in 1989 in India. He was diagnosed in early childhood with severe or low functioning non-verbal autism. What is autism? Autism refers to a broad range of conditions characterized by challenges with social skills, repetitive behaviors, speech, and non-verbal communication. Despite communication challenges, Tito learned to write poetry and prose as a young child. The Voice of Silence was written when he was just 8 years old, and Beyond the Silence was written when he was 11. He wrote The Mind Tree, a miraculous child breaks the silence of autism, a collection of writings and poems that explores thoughts, imagination, and emotions connected with autism. Tito Mukhopadhyay's writing are important because they give an insider's perspective on autism. His work helps people understand autism not just as a medical condition but as a unique way of experiencing the world. Let's begin poem first. This poem suggests a theme of isolation and misunderstanding. Society and doctors try to label with different terms to the autistic person, but they fail to truly understand his inner world. The line about thoughts being bigger suggests a inner life trapped inside limited expression. As a person with autism, Mukhopadhyay feels trapped by his external environment. The continuous flow suggests time and life moving forward without pause. The cause and effect idea means that everything is connected. One event leads to another in a chain reaction, cause, effect, new cause. It suggests the autistic person feels powerless. As life is a chain of event, he cannot escape. He uses his imagination as a tool to transform reality. This shows that although he may feel limited in real life, imagination gives him freedom and control. It becomes a way to escape or reshape reality. He travels to imaginary places in his mind. These places are pleasant and dreamlike. The imaginary world represents freedom and happiness, which is missing in real life. The comparison to dreams suggests comfort, beauty, and escape from reality. The imaginary world is unrealistic and unlikely. It moves towards an unknown future. Towards the end of the poem, he realizes that imagination is not real. Improbability suggests things that cannot truly happen. Racing towards uncertainty suggests instability and unpredictability. This creates a contrast between dream world, beautiful and free, and reality, which is uncertain and limiting. Let's discuss the literary techniques used in this poem. The poem is written using I. It gives a personal and intimate feeling. It helps readers understand the poet's inner experience directly. The poet uses very simple sentences which makes the poem easy to understand. It also reflects the difficulty of expressing complex thoughts in words. The word trapped is a metaphor for feeling mentally or emotionally confined. The flow of happening represents the constant movement of life. These metaphors show how overwhelming the world feels to the poet. The poet uses imagery to create clear mental pictures of his experiences. Beautiful dreams create a pleasant picture of an imaginary world. These images helps reader understand the poet's emotional and mental state. There is a contrast between the real world and the imaginary world. This contrast shows how imagination helps the poet escape reality. Now let's discuss some important topics which could ask in exams. The first one is the experience of autism depicted in the poem. Tito Mukhopadhyay depicts the experience of autism as a condition marked by deep inner thoughts, difficulty in expression, misunderstanding by others, and a strong dependence on imagination. In the poem, autism is shown not just as a medical condition but as a unique way of experiencing the world. The poem says that men and women are puzzled by everything he does. This shows that people around him cannot understand his behavior. They see him as a different and confusing. This reflects how autistic individuals are often misunderstood in society. The line about doctors using different terminologies suggests that autism is often described only in medical terms. Instead of understanding the person's feeling, doctors try to classify or label him. This shows the limitation of the medical view of autism. The poet says that his thoughts are bigger than he can express. This shows that although he has deep and meaningful thoughts, he struggles to communicate them. Autism is portrayed as a condition where the mind is active and imaginative, even if expression is difficult. The poet describes feeling trapped and overwhelmed by the continuous flow of events. This suggests the anxiety and lack of control that an autistic person may experience in everyday life. Imagination allows him to go to the places that do not exist and creates beautiful dreams. This shows that imagination becomes a safe escape from a confusing and uncertain world. The poem helps reader understand autism from the inside perspective, showing that autistic individuals have deep thoughts and feelings even if they cannot easily express them. There are lots of imagery used in this poem. Tito uses vivid and meaningful imagery to describe the experience of autism as a mixture of confusion, isolation, imagination, and uncertainty. The poet says that every move he makes shows how trapped he feels. This is a strong image suggesting confinement or imprisonment. It expresses the feeling of being stuck inside one's own mind or body, unable to communicate freely with the outside world. The phrase continuous flow of happening suggests that life moves too quickly and continuously for the poet to control, creating a sense of helplessness. The idea that cause becomes another effect shows a chain reaction, emphasizing how events feel endless and uncontrollable. The poet imagines going to places that do not exist, which are like beautiful dreams. This creates a soft and pleasant image of an imaginary world. It shows how imagination becomes a safe and comforting space where the poet can feel free. Why this poem is important? Because instead of presenting autism as a defect, the poet shows it is a different way of thinking and experiencing the world. The poet's imagination and deep thoughts suggest uniqueness rather than weakness. So that's all for today. Subscribe for the next videos.